Hello, welcome back. Good morning, or whatever time it is by you. None of our business. We're back with It's New, and focusing on the privacy-centric people. It's not our business what time it is by you. That's it.
It's your business.
It's somebody's business. Mordy and Greg are with us. I don't know where Crystal is, but she's somewhere, hopefully somewhere. None of our business, again, where she
Not
is.
your business.
Not my I'll be talking about Apple Visual Intelligence, which is funny. It's like AI, but none of our business, which is their whole tagline, I guess. Morty, what are you talking about?
Is the AI overview link cup half empty or half full?
And Greg?
And Google is literally putting the view into Google reviews from businesses, even though the customer writes them.
Yada, yada, yada. Somebody actually asked me, what's with the yada, yada, yada? And we were kind of upset by it. And hopefully we'll have some new intro at some point. But it's coming. So,
Noam, are you watching, Noam? You should be watching, Noam.
Not to point anybody out. That gets any of our business, but... All right. So Apple had their big Apple event yesterday, and I just kept hitting buy. Not as a goodbye, but as a
little Justin Timberlake over here, huh?
I don't know what that means. Some type of pop culture or something.
Barry's more of a Backstreet Boys kind of guy.
What you guys know. Anyway, back to things that matter. Apple Visual Intelligence was on their demo. It's their photo. It's like their Google Lens for like Siri or whatever. It's pretty cool in that you basically take a photo and Apple Intelligence says, all right, maybe I should use Google. Maybe I should use Yelp. Maybe I should use OpenAI. And if you take a picture of a restaurant, it brings up Apple Maps with integration with, I think, Yelp and OpenTable. If you take a picture of like a bike or something in their demo, it says searching with Google. Then it shows these fake Google search results, which are definitely not Google search results. So they doctored it, I believe. And then somebody needed help with their homework, and it brought up ChatGPT from OpenAI to actually help you. So I like how Apple's like using AI features, like they're powering their own, figuring out where to send the service, but they're not providing the actual search results per se. Maybe Apple Maps is kind of their own search results, but it's partnered with other people. I thought it was pretty cute. Of course, then there was all these articles out. I think one from the Washington Post said we got a demo of Apple Intelligence, and it was really, really bad. It hallucinated. It did all the stuff that all AIs do early on, and I'm sure Apple will get better at it. They're not releasing it too widely anytime soon, I don't believe. But I will let you know when I get to play with it because it looks like a lot of fun. And I'm a huge Apple. People think I'm a Google fanboy. Just wait till Apple starts their own search. Then I'll be a huge Apple fanboy. Not has any of your business. And Apple was like the whole time, we send stuff to our private cloud, but we don't store any of it, and we're not sharing with anybody. It's private in the cloud. It's an oxymoron to say like private cloud. It's not just as being a private cloud. Anyway, but Apple was like all about privacy. But they do more than I think most people in terms of like just making sure your data is safe. In any event, I thought the keynote was very good, and I just kept hitting buy. I actually bought the AirPod Pro 2 because they were renamed to 2, and I didn't realize they were exactly the same thing as the AirPod Pro second generation, so I don't have to return them. So I just was very quick to buy everything.
First world problems.
Yes, it's issues I have. I got to work on myself.
So you bought the full suite, everything they announced.
I did not get they have new colors for the Max earphones. I did not get the Apple Watch Ultra. I got the Apple Watch Series 10. I can't buy the iPhone yet. I will get the iPhone Pro on Friday morning at 8 a.m. exactly Eastern.
How are you going to go deep sea spelunking if you don't have the Max watch?
That's a problem I might have. But I don't really leave the space I have here. So if there's a flood, then I have an issue. Otherwise, I'm good.
I think they have meetings for people like you where you get up and you stand up. Hi, I'm Barry. I have a problem.
It's been 2 days since I purchased something on apple.com. Please help.
I got issues. In any event, I thought it was a pretty cool demo, and I do like how they're using it more of a tool as opposed to like the foundation of everything that's changing. It's Apple Intelligence is a big deal, but it's not taking over everything. So kind of different take than like Google and Microsoft and so forth. So
I haven't seen you this excited in a while, Barry.
Say what?
I haven't seen you this excited in a while.
Yeah, I used to camp outside and wait for the iPhone back in the old days. We actually went with the company. It was like all of us, the Rusty Brickers, like line up at like 2:00 in the morning and like wait by the local Apple store.
Oh, you're like the Mark Rebule. of now. No
Again, all
longer
these
JT.
references of like pop culture. I don't know what you're talking about.
He's a famous musician that stood in line and then
I
sold.
don't know. You got to stop with the entertainment references. I don't know what's it's right over my head.
But Barry, to your point, I like the fact that it does pull in from actual search engines. It can pull in from whatever that business base that was Yelp, OpenTable, Apple, and then also like ChatGPT. I think that is something where Apple's been behind, on their AI capabilities. But it doesn't mean that it needs to be like a weakness. Obviously, they're going to pay for licensing or whatever that is. But I like the fact that it's not everything is Gemini. That it's a mishmash of different services. I think that's cool.
It's important, especially when Apple is going to have to stop paying Google $20-something billion because they're going to probably stop them from doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have to like mix it up with different search engines. So we'll see. Talking about AI and search, Mordy, what do you got for us?
This is interesting. It comes from Rick Sanger, who comes to our live events in the New York City office that we do with the Quick Studio crew. So he's a good guy, actually. So he does study with Authoritas. I think the way the narrative went was he was critical of something that they put out around AI, and they said it came back and said, hey, you know what? Let's work together and fix that. And they did a study on the number of times or the percentage of times that Google is showing a URL in the AI overview that's also represented in the organic results. They're saying it's around 50% of the time or so. I think it was the number was 46% of the 46.3% of the time, which is different than a bunch of the other studies. I think Barry was SE Clarity had like around like 90-something%. So clearly a gap between the two studies. Interestingly, they also looked at the inclusion of related queries. So if you have something like people also search for, they clicked through, they looked at the organic results on that SERP and then calculated if those URLs were also included in the AI overview. And that changed the number to be around 60% of those, all those URLs together with the top 10 or 8, whatever organic results were now in the AI overview. So data is showing that AI overviews are including the organic result URLs, basically.
In short, do well in traditional search. You'll probably do well also in AI overviews.
I think it kind of has to be that way, right? Like it's if people want to use AI overviews, they have to get the best stuff. And if the best stuff is in the top of the SERPs, like why wouldn't you put that in AI overviews? It's sort of like a exhibit, I got search results in your search results.
My only caveat to that is that if it's a particular link at a particular time in the AI overview, maybe that subtopic is not best addressed by the organic results for that query.
Right.
Yeah.
But Google, I remember Google interviewing Google about this when they first launched like SGE before I/O of that year, like a year and a half ago, whatever it was. And they were like, I asked them like, what's going to show up, what links or what sources you're going to pull from? They said basically the top search results. And then it launched and Google did the opposite of that. And like all this garbage was like showing up in the like being sourced and it was all hallucinations and stuff like that. And then they got it right. It seems like they're getting it to where they said it would be on some point. So I guess that's good. But like you said, it depends on the type of query and how detailed the query is and timing and so forth. On that, let's move on to local business reviews. What do you got for us, Greg?
Okay, in the wild, people are spotting user-generated reviews that are showing alongside business pictures and business photos, which is kind of cool. I think this is a huge win for businesses. It's one of those things where, if somebody puts one photo up and the example they had was about a big piece of meat at the Outback Steakhouse and somebody looked at the ribeyes within there, it seems like one of those could be customer generated, but there's also like a big picture of ribeye as well that I'm assuming that Outback took and professionally like photo of a ribeye with the butter like melting perfectly and things like that. It also doesn't look like a ribeye to me. It looks like a filet mignon to me, but who am I? I'm not a foodie. But I think the big thing here is that you can take your professional photos and hopefully have them mixed in on some of those elements that people are talking about. There's another example found by Claudia Tomina, and she had an example of cool sculpting. And there was a variety of different before and after shots, not just from one Sarah B. But it seems like the more granularly you go into those different segments of reviews and say, I'm looking at skin or ribeye or porterhouse or whatever, you can have those photos up there. So what does this mean for you as a marketer with the local business? Make sure you have good photos, upload those photos, and you can then have some of your stuff surface up along with those customer reviews, which is really good. And then I want to bring back the iPhone the Mark Rebule. So this came back out, and I'm tying it back to marketing. This was the first time that Mark Rebule ever went viral, was waiting in line for an iPhone overnight, multiple days, ended up selling it to a woman who was going to try to go buy the store out. The woman found out she could only buy one iPhone. He got paid $500, basically got a free iPhone. Fast forward to Google I/O last year. Who was the keynote? Loop Daddy coming out of the coffee. That was Mark Rebule, the original person that waited overnight in the iPhone and went viral.
It all goes full circle. Just
okay.
insane. Does he do, what is this whole cool sculpting thing? It's like, I didn't know I should do that, right?
I think we should, we should have a competition here. We should do before and afters, and we should go. I think they just like put really cold like machine on your body and try to like make the fat go away somehow.
Yeah, I could use that, I guess. This is wild.
Yeah. Or I mean, you could go to the gym too. That's like another thing that all these people could do. But you could also just sit there and have a machine put cold on you.
What?
Cool sculpting. It's like a fad.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's in the picture.
Go to Search Engine Roundtable and you'll see some phenomenal.
I saw that. I don't know what it actually is.
They just get you really cold and somehow the fat goes away.
I don't
so
really look at
basically,
it.
like if you're like an Eskimo, like you can't have body fat because you're always cold.
Yeah, whales have no fat on them.
You would think that like if you're really fat and you went cold, it would like freeze everything in place and you'd just be fatter forever.
Like a block, yeah.
That's the logic I would use. I don't know. I thought it was some type of surgery before and after. I didn't really look too closely at it. And then you mentioned cool sculpting, and I had to look closer. I'm like, oh, they mentioned cool sculpting, and I'm like, what is that? But I don't have my Apple Intelligence to tell me yet, so hopefully soon, and then nobody would know they're actually searching for cool sculpting because it'll be private. It's none of your business. On that note, everyone, see you guys tomorrow. I'm not sure what time, but again, none of your business. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.